Hi, my name is Dorothy Black, and I am going to be talking about all the sex myths that parade around as fact. At the top of the list is that men are all about the sex and women are all about the feelings. That men have sex for pleasure and women have sex to make relationships. Women are about monogamy and long-term settling down, and guys are about playing the field, thinking with their little heads and sowing their wild oats. Whether through culture, religion, tradition, or just a plain old patriarchal society, we have come to believe that women are passive while men are aggressive. Women don't really feel lust, in fact they almost don't have orgasms, and men have all the pleasure, all the fun, and all the orgasms. If men can play around, women are expected to be quiet. They're expected to be demure, and any action outside of that means that they're sluts, which is why we also believe that the more sex a woman has, the flappier her vagina becomes. We've been led to believe that women reach their sexual peak in their 30s, or that men should always carry the condoms and women should worry about the pole. We believe that men think about sex all the time and women don't ever think about sex. In fact, new science is starting to prove what many women have known for centuries and centuries, and that is that women are every bit as horny and sexually turned on as men are. In fact, it's going a step further. What it is showing us is that women are probably less inclined towards monogamy than men are. Women are more likely to want to play the field given two factors. One, that they won't be judged for it, and two, that they can be assured that the person they're playing around with is actually going to be skilled. What we're learning is that women, far from being passive bystanders waiting for the perfect man to save them, are actually sexual aggressors. In the wild, the female of the species is the one that hunts down and stalks the man that they want to have sex with. And not just that, a woman's physiology is completely set up for pleasure. The clitoris is the only body part that is there solely for pleasure. It has no other function but to provide orgasm. And the vagina, far from being something that can be shagged out, is a muscle, which means it can be exercised, which means it can contract and it can stretch according to any size of penis or baby that is in it. So how do these sex myths affect your life? Well, from the moment you've popped out of the womb, we're told that our bodies are bad, that they're evil places, that sex is dirty, that vaginas are terrible things to explore. And then how do you learn about your body? How do you learn what feels good? You don't. You just fumble around expecting some boy one day to tell you how your body's supposed to work. And then we have the basis of bad sex, because the beginning of good sex is to know what turns you on. And if you have a lot of guilt and shame around touching your own body because it's been, socialized into you that it's a terrible, evil, naughty thing to do and only sluts touch themselves, then where are you supposed to learn? And so it's like women are sitting on this time bomb of amazing sexual energy and too scared to flip the switch. Because if they do, what are they then? They're sluts, they're loose, they'll never find a husband. They're opposite, they're different, they're crazy, they're hoes. And guys, well, the gender myths don't really benefit you either. It means that you always have to be on. Guys they have to be manly, strong, they can't cry, they can't explore themselves. Do you know how that limits your sexual expression? Do you know how that limits the things that you could find out about your body and about your sexuality if you have to keep on living up to this idea of what a man is supposed to be like? And if you're a guy and you think that your feelings don't come into the bedroom, that your feelings don't affect how you have sex, then I want you to think very carefully about those psychosexual issues that come up and affect your penis, like premature ejaculation, not being able to orgasm, losing your heart on during sex, not being able to get interested, having to fake an orgasm, not really enjoying having sex. These things affect you too, because guys are human. Guys have feelings, and the way you express those feelings sometimes comes out of your penis. All those stereotypes do is that for boys, they cut you off from experience and they cut you off from feelings. And for women, it cuts them off from their bodies and it cuts them off from the ability to explore and to feel good doing it. It cuts us off from pleasure and it cuts us off from the entire range of human experience. All because we think boys should be one way and girls should be another way. But it's not just your sexual pleasure that it could affect. It also affects your sexual health. If women are nothing but passive objects owned by men, and in many cultures people still believe that, they have no agency over their sexual bodies. They have no agency over their sexual health. They have no agency to determine when they can use a condom, how many partners they have. They're simply told. It also means that if you believe all the time that the boy should carry the condom and you should be worrying about babies, that puts you at risk if the guy you're going out with doesn't have a condom. Challenging sex myths for what they are, for myths, means that we are more able and more capable of taking ownership of our sexual pleasure and our sexual health. It means that we can step up and be like, this is what I like, this is what I want, I'm okay with that, and this is what I need to do in order to get what is good for me and what is healthy for me. And without judgment for yourself, and without judgment for anybody else who chooses to express themselves or look after their health or say no if they don't want to, in any way they want to do that. You know, it's difficult to start changing these myths from myths to fact if we're not going to challenge our ideas around it, if we're not going to challenge how we speak, how we see people, how we see ourselves, if we're not going to challenge ourselves to stand up and say, I want to try this, this is what I want to do, and it's difficult. No one's saying it isn't. We grow up, you just look around. There's media, magazines, newspapers, our parents, our culture, our religion, our churches, our peers. How many times have you looked at a girl wearing a short skirt and the first thing that's gone through your head is like, whoa, hoe, or bitch, or slut, or how often have you looked at a guy and all you've seen is player or money or what he can get you or where he can go or if he's the leader of the pack or whatever the hell. The point is that we cannot challenge stereotypes that affect us until we challenge our own stereotypes. And so that means changing how you speak. It means changing how you judge others and how you judge yourself. It means taking responsibility for your health, and it means taking responsibility for your pleasure. And it means being really brave and looking every single one of those sex myths in the face and saying, you're just myth. There is no fact to back this up. And if you feel that none of these sexual stereotypes affect you at all, whether you're a woman or a guy, then you can consider yourself very lucky or very deluded.